Hello, and welcome back. So now we're here about our trending topics, celebrity views and news. And I was just looking at some stuff that, uh, actually, it was on Instagram, I believe, where we were talking about Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, and they were talking about 50-50 and what 50-50 meant to them. And so I wanted to kind of dove into that a little bit because it's interesting when we talk about it, because a lot of people, depending on who you are or whatever, they believe in some still have an old way of thinking, and when it comes down to their woman, they have it. They believe that he gets more, he does the more, and she does less, so on and so forth. But there's a lot of people that believe in 50-50, 80-20, whatever you believe in. I just thought it was an interesting take on Dwayne Wade and how he weighs in on the debate that he and Gabrielle have about splitting finances. And wanted to comment that she and that they split their finances down the middle, basically just to set the record straight. And not that it really matters because they got the money. You know what I'm saying? For those of us who struggle or have a spouse that may not be working or something like that, I mean, obviously it's going to be different. But when it comes down to it, the topic of to me, it's about raising your king. If your king is unemployed or your queen is unemployed or whatever the situation is, it's about being supportive for that individual. So that fortunately, when they are on the come up, you not only are you still there with them and for them, but you likewise can be part of their journey. You know what I'm saying? Because even when you're married, I still believe that if you're married, that is still that person's business on how they handle what they handle. Just like I believe, that be it when you're married, you're going to talk about things, you're going to communicate about things. It's their process and it's how they handle it. A lot of people look at it differently, but think about it like this: if you spend so much time worrying about all this other stuff, a lot of times, unfortunately, you can't get yourself together because you're too busy worrying about what they do. Have a say in it, then hey, that's on you. But I feel like a lot of times, you get so caught up worrying about the other person that you forget to worry about yourself. But anyway, back to our topic at hand. So Wade basically said that he and his wife recently had a reaction after and they decided, well, basically their finances down. But Twitter was a minority owner of the Jazz in 2021, part owner on the NBA team. You was bring up now straight and explain which purchases they actually divide up. And he said that together they made a decision that, he said he thought that maybe one time they were in Miami and the house in Miami was his and it was paid for. And so he shared on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay Club Shay Shay podcast that him and his wife looked at. He Wait a minute. He told on the podcast about his house being paid for, and that they they were in Miami, and that this was the house that he paid for. And he shared this on this podcast. And then Gabrielle looked at him and said, "Wait, you never told me, you know, you know, anything about stuff that we share, something that we share." And so when they later moved to Los Angeles together, their new house was part of uh, something that they purchased down the middle. So they kind of like made sure that that was taken care of. But at a previous time, apparently there was some type of misunderstanding, not just with social media and others, but between him and her. But when it comes down to that, he said that, any of their expenses, the same thing goes for that. They're when they talk about their daughter or they talk about his son and his other children with his ex-wife, everything is split down the middle. They don't have a division. I think that's best. I think that's amazing. I think when you get married, you become one and you join each other as one. A lot of people get uh, sidetracked sometimes by family members who they allow themselves to partake in their relationships, and next thing you know, nobody's happy because somebody else is telling them what to do. So in their life and in their home, like you said, it's 50-50. They purchase things together, they communicate about that, and they continue on with this way of life. And, that's how they share things and that's how they do it. So I believe that that's amazing. And I think that there is no other way to do it. And that's my take on it as well. But again, everybody has a different opinion, right? Everybody has a different opinion. So moving on, there was another topic that came up this week about being, I guess some people say a MILF, but it had to do with Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan. And so people were tripping out because, you know, they're basically saying that um, there's some criticism of their 6 year age gap. Okay, so what's the big deal? You know, people are going to do what they want to do, and nobody has to be privy to that but them. But I get that when you're a celebrity, you put your business out there. You let people see things, and then they begin to comment on it. And sometimes it gets a little bit more difficult to deal with than you anticipated. But in this scenario, Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan are calling timeout on the negativity. They're like, hands down, we're not having it. They went on Instagram official with officially as boyfriend and girlfriend. And for those of you that don't know, Marcus Jordan is the son of Michael Jordan. And this happened earlier this year. Larsa Pippen was married to Scottie Pippen, but she was also on the Real Housewives of Miami. Um, but she says she's happier now more than ever. And I'm not even going to front. I don't have like, I feel like sometimes you have to dive deep into what makes you tick. Okay. Now, if you tick in a way where you want to be with someone younger, is it because you're not wanting to age? Is it because of some past trauma? Whatever. You have to deal with that. But maybe it's on the strength of you just enjoying someone at a younger age because you just enjoy someone who's a younger age. Me personally, I've always attracted younger men, and I don't have a problem with it because I feel like at the point of us being adults, it is fair game. Your age doesn't matter to me as long as you're responsible. You treat me with respect. You're loving, you're kind, you don't use me, you don't take advantage of me, none of that. Because at the moment, like I tend to test someone. And when I say test them, I mean, if I'm going to support someone, I'm going to support them. And if they fail that test, then I know that unequivocally, that's something that I cannot handle, because I feel like at the point of me giving you my trust, whether it's money, love, honor, respect, and you take advantage of it because you're a crook, a criminal, and a deceitful person, then I know the direction that I need to go in. And it's unfortunate because karma is real, people, and it will come back around. But moving on into a positive aspect, like Larsa Pippen and Marcus have said, they're not dealing with that mess, and I don't blame them. It's, she's happy, and it doesn't matter, if she's 48, he's 32, criticism of their relationship was simply out of bounds and out of pocket. But people are still doing it and saying it. And some people are jealous. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't their fault. You know, um, she basically said that, she's tired of the negativity. And Marcus said, he told, I think it was E! News, basically. He said, he was like, because it's not his responsibility out there and try to figure out that. Because he feels like people see their last names and immediately they're going to make an assessment or some sort of, reaction or opinion. But, people that know them and respect them, they understand, and they're happy for them. So they just want it to be known and go down on record that they're happy and that's their truth. You know what I'm saying? So um, Larsa shares kids with Scotty, and she says basically people want to see you happy, and there's people that don't want to see you happy. But those people are the ones that are probably miserable. Just FYI. So, they just want to have some negative. They just want to have some negative input uh, uh, on things that she feels people will make into something that's nothing. But she really feels overall that people that know them, love them, and they just want to see them happy. So I thought that was interesting. And I believe that age is, like I said, if you meet someone and that, ha, nobody has time for it. So moving on. And with that being said, I thought it would be kind of fun to bring up one of these reality shows. This reality show, I just stumbled onto it by chance, but it is a trip, honey. Let me tell you, it's called MILF Manor. And although on the show, basically MILF Manor, what it basically talks about is they're a few older than the average dating show contestants, because they can range anywhere from early 40s to late 50s that I've seen on here. And excuse me, a little allergy. Sorry about that. So the interesting part is they range basically, I say 40 to 60. That makes it easy. Years young. But they're vibrant and they have a very unique life experience. Um, And basically, they've had decades of dating, or maybe they've been married, or whatever. So they're very experienced. But what's interesting is the men that they date can be half their age. So 40s and 20s, 40-year-old women could end up with 20-year-old men. 60-year-old women can end up with 30-year-old men, or any range from 20 to from if we say 20 to 30 or 20 to 40. I haven't seen 40-year-old men on there, but it could be anywhere from 20 to 40, 20 to 30 years old, 35 maybe. But these men come on here and They want that dating experience. They want to enjoy this older woman for whatever reason. Now, people back in the day would always say, oh, yeah, he got mommy issues. But maybe they don't have mommy issues. Maybe they do have mommy issues. Again, this is a scenario where a person has to dive deep within themselves and figure out what in the world is my deal. Am I in love with this person because I'm in love with this person? Am I trying to be with this person for other reasons? What is my deal? But most of them enjoy the dating experience, and there's some jaw-dropping surprises, and I'm just going to tell you what they are. So most of these women, okay, so they're dating men half their age, and so say for instance, there's 5 women, and they're between the ages of 40 and 60. There's going to be 5 men between the ages of 20 and 30 or 35. So guess what? The men are their sons. Now, granted, they're not dating their son, okay, but their counterparts are picking from a pool of men. So if there are 5 women, 4 of them are going to be options for that woman, and her son will be options for somebody else, so on and so forth. But they share the same villa, the mom and the son, or whatever. But it's pretty cool. But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this? I think that that's pretty dope. Um, and I'm, like I said, I'm even open to dating men younger. I mean, I have respect to my son or whatever, and I always talk to him about it, and he's giving me his opinion, and he's like, "That's your business." But again, I wouldn't in my thoughts, I wouldn't date anyone young as or younger than my son. So that's out. Um, but how do you feel about dating older or younger? What are your thoughts? Y'all got to send me a DM or post it somewhere, because I think it is simply marvelous, darling. Simply marvelous. So, anywho, for those of you watching today, if you are a cougar and you want to put your input in on our show, please do. But please don't be a pervert and be a pedophile, and be dating somebody that's younger or not grown. You know what the deal is. Now, some people lie, and I get that, but immediately vacate the premises if they're lying. I had a scenario in my life where they lied, but again, immediately vacate the premises. Don't keep going for it and dealing with it and making it an excuse. I mean, we have that whole scenario with R. Kelly and um, Aaliyah and some other people that were just devastated and had a very unfortunate lifestyle, and mentally tormented because this older man came in and did things that they shouldn't have with a younger woman. If you are not man enough, okay, to date a woman of your age, or at least of a caliber that she has her own shit, you got issues, and I hope they catch your ass. But anyway, all righty. It has been our edition of Trending Topics. And thank you so much. Stay around and stay tuned for Each One Teach One. We'll be right back, and we'll go into our Each One Teach One segment.